Well, good morning and welcome to the channel. I'm John Dega, and with me as always it's Johnny. So guys, today is July 18th. In less than a month, we're going to be in California at the Pebble Beach Concours. Well, Rare Classics is currently preparing 2 cars that will be entered into the show. Now, we've got less than a month, plus we lose a week because of the transport from the East Coast to the West Coast. I'd like to take a quick moment to give a shout out to Bob Sellers of Reliable Transportation, who always takes great care of us. He's scheduled a late rolling truck, probably team drivers. They might get us out there in 3 days. So that'll buy us a little extra time because, you know, the West Coast boys get almost another week. So why am I so hung up on the date? You know, we've had months to prepare. We've known we were going to Pebble since May. Well, on July 6th, we got a letter from the chief judge from the Ferrari class via email. And in this letter, he states, your Competition Ferrari should be presented on the concours field in the configuration and livery as it was during a specific race. So our 1959 TDF, it raced in period in 1960. A gentleman named Bob Grossman was the driver. He did a lot of club racing, but he also raced at Le Mans. So this is the 1960 Ferrari yearbook. Now this was published in December of 1960, and it has a bunch of Ferrari information and races. And you'll see on, and I'll put a big picture of this up for you, right here. Here's Bob Grossman. He's in Bridgehampton, New York, and he just won the interclub race. And curiously enough, he was racing for the MG team in his Ferrari. So we've decided to recreate that photograph in that place and time. So if you look at our TDF, what's different? Well, other than the fact it's a really nice car, this is a multiple platinum winning car. It's been shown at Cavallino and it's been driven. This car has been driven almost 6,000 miles under its current ownership. It's been to the Colorado Grand, it's been to the Cavalcade in Italy, and there was California Mille. So the big difference here between the livery that it was at that race in Bridgehampton and all the races in period, and now is that it was treated to the iconic TDF stripe. So how can we present a car as it was raced when something as big as the addition of this stripe? So we went back and forth over the last 10 days or so. We looked at wraps. In fact, I ordered some color match wrap from a company in Arizona called, of all things, Color Match Wrap. And, you know, that stuff won't even be here till the end of the month. We talked to the local wrap guys about, you know, disguising the stripe. And, you know, at the end of the day, we're showing this car at Pebble Beach, the biggest car show in the whole world, and we're going to put our best forward. So last night, after meeting with the wrap people and having more discussions about it, Il Capo, he says, paint the car. So this car is going on a truck in 2 weeks to go to California, and we're going to roll it down to 800, and we're going to repaint it to eliminate the stripe. So I know a lot of you are thinking, you know, geez, you got a freaking beautiful show car there, and paint it for one event? Well, tell me, you're going to Pebble Beach. What would you do? Let me know in the comment section down below. So guys, here's our TDF. So guys, it's Tuesday, and this is our third day in on our TDF stripe removal. As you can see by the calendar, decision was made on Friday. We brought the car down. We went ahead and got it disassembled, and now today is Tuesday. And the truck comes on the 4th, so we got a little over a week to get this done. Guys, so it's Wednesday, and it's paint day. And our TDF is ready to have its stripe removed. We're all cleaned, we're all masked up, and we're getting ready to spray. So here's Nate. He's going to take a minute to tell you about his process here.
So first process is I'm going to spray some black sealer only on the white stripe just to get it to disappear and create a more darker middle area. After that, it'll be about 3 coats of base coat, blending out slowly but surely, doing a little bit of a stage out every single coat. And then once that's done, we'll tack rag the whole vehicle again, get the overspray off, and then we'll hammer it down with 3 coats of clear.
All right, so tell me a little bit about these products you got over here.
We got our sealer, which is the non-sanding epoxy primer.
What company is this stuff from?
It's all PPG.
PPG is not a sponsor of this event.
Top of the line stuff. Then Deltron DVC base coat, and our British Racing Green, Verde British Racing Green.
Yes, because it's Italian.
And then we have our top of the line Ditzler Vibrance Collection clear coat, and that's the best stuff. And then we're going to be using 85-degree weather reducer since it's a little bit warm out today.
All right. Well, you got a couple hours here yet?
Yeah, about 4 hours, and we'll have it done.
All right, fabulous. We'll check back in tomorrow. All right, guys, so you've seen all the glory of the paint gun out and the paint being sprayed, but that is such a small part of a paint job. There's so much body work and metal work at the beginning, and then afterwards, we have a very intense process of how we finish the paint. And I'm going to get with Nate, our painter, and he's going to give us a quick rundown on the steps. So Nate?
So basically, I have laid out all of my products that I use from start to finish for after we finish a paint job. We always start with 1000 for our initial cut, and that's basically to knock down the clear coat, get it nice and flat.
So do you use a block with that?
Yeah, we use hard blocks. We like to start with a really hard poly block, and then there's also pre-made blocks that are rubber but very hard as well. And then we can use some rubber for flexible areas that we need to get to that keep it flat so we're not putting our fingerprints in it. And then since we start at 1000, you have to start there and you got to work your way all the way back up to 5000. So we go 1200.
So you've got 5 grits here that you do by hand over the entire car.
Yep. These are the 5 grits, and everything's done about twice. Make sure that we get the previous grit out of it because you don't want to be going into the buffing stage with sand, with any other sand scratches in there. And then at the end of that stage, we have 3000 and 5000, and we actually use a machine, DA, to get that out. And it's same thing.
You use a regular DA like you would sand body filler with, or?
No, so it's actually a special DA that has a closer pattern to keep the pigtails really small, and they're specifically made for a wet sanding process. And that helps, remove the scratches and almost put a shine into it before we go into our buffing.
So we have 3000 and 5000 that you do on the machine once the whole thing's blocked out.
Yep. And then from there, we have 2 different types of buffers we use now as well. So we use the rotary with our stage 1 compound, which is basically to take out all the scratches that are left from the 5000, bringing it to a good shine, but that does leave some swirl marks in there. So after that, we'll go over it with another compound, a purple stage 1, perfect it. And then from there, after that's all set up, what we like to do as well is we'll go into a Roops. And a Roops is kind of like the DAs we're using earlier, but it's a more random orbital. And this will make sure and guarantee that there's no swirls left in the vehicle. And then on top of that, for our tight areas and inside, little spots you can't really get to with our big buffers, we have our little mini buffer with a custom attachment to it and a bunch of little mini pads that we use as well for the different compounds, just to get it all working together and shined up without any swirls and all the scratches removed.
Okay, so after the car is painted and it's cured out and you start your process, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different mediums that you apply to the car.
Yep.
Majority of them at least half of them by hand.
Yeah. And then
so
at the end,
how long does this process take to complete on a Ferrari-sized car?
Ferrari-sized car, it's about 2 to 3 days.
With how many people?
2 people.
So you've got the equivalent of 3 days, 24 hours, so it's just under 50 man hours.
Yep. And then after that, we go back to the basics and we hand wax the car 2 to 3 times.
That's 12, 13, 14. All right, thank you, Nate. Hit it. There we go. So guys, we're back. We have finished the stripe removal on our 1959 Ferrari TDF. It is now ready to head out to California for the Pebble Beach Concours. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, we were instructed by the chief judge of the Ferrari competition class to pick a point or a race in history and bring the car appearing as that. So this car won the 1960 Bridgehampton Inter-Club race. It was driven by, who drove it, Johnny?
Some guy, special guy, significant.
A significant guy. Oh, shit. Who drove the car, Johnny?
I think it was Bob Grossman.
Robert Grossman, Bob Grossman. In 1960, he was the winningest American Ferrari driver. And that's why they put him in the Ferrari yearbook. So the race he won was the 1960 Bridgehampton Interclub race, and he raced for the MG Club of all things. So we need to make the car appear as it did in the race. So I'm going to put a picture of the car as it appeared in the race right here for you. And then we have recreated, and we'll put these on after the tour, before it goes on the lawn on Sunday. But we have our MG Club decal here. We have our New York Sports Car Club winning checkered flag. Winning checkered flag. And what's crazy in the picture is it appears like this. So when you're looking in the picture, you actually see the back of it. So if you look close at the picture. And then believe it or not, because these cars were basically cars that were for sale at his car lot, they didn't put numbers or rondelles on the car. They used masking tape. So we'll create the number 9 on the doors and the hood out of contractors' masking tape. So I know that seems cheesy, but that's how they did it. And we have the pictures to prove it. So I also mentioned earlier in the video that we had considered putting a wrap on the car, and I did get the wrap from Color Match. And color-wise, it did color match. but the texture was not going to play. So if you look at the depth of this paint, there's no way that a flat wrap was going to pass. So I'm really glad that we opted to paint the car. And so, 10 working days, we essentially repainted the car for this event. But I think the result is spectacular. And we're going to Pebble Beach, and we might be bringing a knife to a gunfight, but we're bringing a really sharp knife. So Johnny. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed our presentation of the stripe removal on the 1959 TDF. Wish us luck next week at Pebble Beach. And hey, if you're still watching and you're not subscribed, probably be a good idea to do so. And we'll see you on the next one.